Hello, hello. Here's Agi coming to you again from Broadcast Team Alpha, and this is the World Paranormal Show. And we are coming to you from 44 different platforms around the world, and one of them is the Conscious Awakening Network. You need to go visit those guys. They got close to 50 different shows over there. They talk about stuff that we really like to know about. So go visit them at consciousawakeningnetwork.org. See you there. And I want to talk a little bit about something that very few people know much about, and that is the looking glass. What is it? What can it do? But I have some pictures, rare pictures of it, so you can see what it looks like, and I will explain a little bit about what I think it works like. So don't go anywhere today, because this is going to get deep. Now, the looking glass is said to have, the technology for it is said to have come out of Iraq. And there are some strange pictures coming out of Iraq that showed up in the 1930s of equipment. Strange things that nobody knew anything about what it was. But they thought maybe that was something that the old Sumerians left behind, or the gods of Sumer. Well, when it comes to that, this kind of technology of the looking glass, which is designed to look and see the past as well as see the future. That is technology that is far beyond what we are led to believe is possible today. But of course, it is, because it appears as they already have it, and they had it for some time. And I believe it may not have been the Anunnaki that left this behind. It may have been before them. That means before 450,000 years ago. It could have been dating back all the way to what is called the first people, or maybe before them, to a civilization that built the two biggest pyramids on the Giza Plateau, and they were the Crocodile Kings. Yeah, I know this is new to many of you, and do the research, and you may come up with something very interesting in that regard, because Khufu didn't build it. And the Sumerian tablets speak of an operator that brings the future to him, or the past to him. So there may be some involvement with the mind of the operator to get these equipment to work. To me, this technology, and I can see it's operating on several different levels, both of physicality and consciousness and existence. Because if they are manipulating existences, that means that you can move from one to the other, and at one point you will leave one and enter the other. And in between, there is an opening. I know that. I've seen that opening. In that opening, there is no time and no distance. So if they got there, then consciousness could bring it forward and backwards. That's something to think about. And this looking glass actually was created by a theoretical physicist named Fermi, and also Albert Einstein was involved, and I think there were several other people. They started back in the 1930s and 40s to work on this because of some of the information that they got out of Iraq when they found these cylinder clay tablets, so to speak, and they could roll them and they make an imprint so they could read it. And they were able to interpret this. So evidently they got it finished. And they are using it to create timelines. And they have been creating more than one timeline in the past. But now, especially after 2012, they can't create any more timelines. The timelines are actually collapsing into each other. So they get fewer and fewer timelines. So it appears that it is narrowing to a point somewhere in the future where there may only be one timeline. And this scared them quite a bit because they have been trying to control the future, create new timelines where they are in charge. It doesn't work anymore. After 2012, they couldn't change anything anymore. They could not control it. So the controllers, they panicked. And it seemed like there was what they saw was an awakening of people saying, no, we've had enough. We want our timeline to go on. So they are being left behind, and evidently they didn't like that too much. So the rumor is that they shut the program down. I kind of doubt that. But it may have been because if they shut it down, it may be because they didn't like the outcome. I don't know, though. It's when the government have technology, they never let it go. They use it for things today, or they hang on to it and find a use for it later to their benefit, not necessarily ours. So when all the timelines are converging into one, that results in one mind or one existence. And evidently, that is one that is created by us, the global population that wants good things in their future. And the cabal or whoever think they own the place, they are being left outside on that one. It appears as the looking glass has been retired back to Area 51, or actually S4. That is where there's a whistleblower that came out of there, and he has some phenomenal information. His name is Dan Burish. He's got some inside information and pictures. I'm going to show you those later on because this is going to get good. For the pictures, I got to give credit though, because the pictures I found on a website where he evidently put them, it's called Stealth Skater, stealthskater.com. And you will see drawings there, and you will you'll also see that there's drawings of the layout of Area 51's S4 compound inside the mountain. It is deep inside the mountain where they do the back engineering of the crashed flying discs and things like that. And the S4, the fourth level down, are we told, is they call it Alice's floor. And that's where they keep the looking glass. And I'm going to show you a picture here where it's sitting in a room by itself. And that's also where they back engineer of the crashed flying disc, development of time portals, and things like that. Time portals. It leads me directly to time travel. Well, let me ask you something. You don't need to answer me, answer you what you think. There's a temple in Abydos, Egypt. In that temple, there is a panel. On that panel, there is a perfect outline of a helicopter. You couldn't get more accurate than that thing on the wall there for being a helicopter. How could that be? Think about it. Maybe the people that made that panel saw something and they wanted to put it on the panel. Think about that. This might come up a little bit later here. I'm going to mention something about it. Now, when operating the device, the past is more accurate. Now, in using the looking glass, the past has already been created. In this timeline, it's already sitting there. It can be observed. But the future hasn't been created yet in this timeline. Though it has been created outside of the physical because some people may have thought of things that they want in the future, and that is placed into the quantum existence. But physically, it hasn't been created yet. So what happens is that when the operator is engaging the looking glass, they have to have their mind totally neutral. Because if they start thinking of their wishes for the future, it could show up in the timeline they are trying to create. Because this is a mind-matter interface machine. So the future is very much influenced by the operator. So they need to stay neutral when they go into the future and look for things. That's hard to do. Because if you see something really bad up there, you're going to start thinking, oh no, I don't want that. And then your mind just probably goes on to the point where you are erasing it. Or you think of it different. So this is also how they could change and inject things into the timeline that they are in. Because the operator could think of something, engage the looking glass, and that thought is embedded into the timeline going into the future that he is creating. And then they get drawn up that timeline. So it's way above my pay grade, but I have a little bit of an understanding of the concept of it. I understand a little bit about time travel and quantum mechanics. So I'm starting to pull some things together where I see that the looking glass is possible. There are other inventions like that one, but different names to it. So I have some pictures here and I got to show you this. I'm going to share screen and then I'm going to draw out those pictures for you. So just hang in here and I will do it. Just hang on. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, that's one of them. But I want to show you something else first, and that is drawings of the device itself. It is round, and there is a ring outside. And right inside that ring, there is attached 12 metal balls all the way around. And there's more drawings here that will explain this better. Here on the left, you see these are electronic field spares, is what they're called. I don't know what kind of metal, and I don't know what they are and what the purpose of them are, but I got a sneaky suspicion that it is somewhat similar to these balls that is placed around the spaceships from the Pleiades. We have seen those balls around the ships. And because those balls around the Pleiadian ship, they create a field, a plasmic field that have a resultant effect coming out as a gravity wave. And when you got a bulge in the gravity wave, sine wave coming up, you can put yourself at the front of it and you can ride with it. So that's my opinion. And here is, you see what it looks like. In the middle, there is a ring. Upper left-hand corner, there's a ring, if you can follow my cursor here. And then there's another ring inside of that one. And there's a barrel in the middle of it. All of this is hooked onto a gimbal. There's a gimbal shaft going through the whole thing, and it rotates very fast, probably. And here, lower left-hand corner, you can see the barrel in the middle. And then you have the electronic motor used to rotate the gimbal shaft is sitting right there. So the whole thing rotates, the barrel and everything. And here, lower right-hand corner, these here are the bows you see here. That is, yeah, that's electronic field support. These arches, they kind of hold it together, and I don't know what they're for. I'm sure they have a different purpose than just that. So here we have, in the bottom, there is a Tesla egg housing with a Tesla egg inside. I don't know what that Tesla, I got an idea what a Tesla egg is. It stabilizes electromagnetic waves, but I don't know anything else to say about that. So anyway, I'm gonna go and go here. Yeah, this is from the website of stealthskater.com. I gotta give them credit because this is phenomenal. And this is because, yeah, you see the rabbit, it's because it's Alice's floor at S4. And here is, yes, here it is, the looking glass. And you can see that there's sparks going in when they have engaged it. The middle is rotating. And there's stay clear, it says here at the bottom. There's 2 walkways up to it. Now, I don't know how you operate this thing. I have no clue. These field arcs above looking glass are lit up. As you can see, there's sparkling around them. And here is another one closer by. You can see the The center is a little hard to see because it's rotating so fast. And in the background, you see two pads, one pad on the right side, one pad on the left side. In a little bit, you're going to see what those pads are for. Give you a hint. In the transporter room on Star Trek Enterprise, remember the pads? They stepped on the pads and they could be beamed anywhere. So here we go. Another picture of the operation of the whole thing. They're showing the cameras, caution label on the floor, and the drum gimbal. They're lit up here, so stay in the middle. And here, now this is different. That's a totally different thing. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this one. For those of you that remember the movie Stargate, actually they found two of those that I know of in Iraq, buried in the sand. They look just like that. And they thought that that was old technology from the gods of Sumer, but then again, I think it dates back further. And here, okay, there's more. Yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the very beginning of the page and I'm going to scroll through. So those of you that want to read this, you can do that. And yeah, there we go. You can read it by running the video, stop it and read it, and then run it again and go to the next page. Here you go, Project Aquarius. You can Google that and see what you find. The Looking Glass Project at Facility S4 at Area 51. I'm going to scroll through so you can go back and read it if you like. Okay, here we go. Here's the layout of S4. Upper left-hand corner, you see, you've probably seen this conceptual drawing before. It explains the connection by bending space from one reality or one universe to another one. You can go through this. This has also been used in relation to black holes. They've been used in relation to explaining how you can go from one reality to another one. Here's those pads I mentioned. This is one pad. It says departure point, area S4 in Nevada. You can step on this pad and you go through a symbolic tube here because there's a funnel going to the receiving pad. Destination point, it says, Abydos Temple. Really? What do you think, folks? Do you think they saw something? I think they did. And then there's another destination point, Seda Star System. Another one, Pine Gap, Australia, as a receiving or the destination point. Here's that drawing in the upper right-hand corner as we talked about. And here's the layout of S4 under the ground. I'm going to blow that up a little bit so we can look at it. Here is, they talk about fire exits and stuff. And here is boardroom, 3 boardrooms, Project Sidekick here. I have not researched that. I don't know what it is. Maybe you should. You might find out some interesting things. And here is 3 tall rabbits above the door. the reason is that before you enter Alice's room, there's 3 rabbits, stuffed rabbits, put above the door. Symbolically, I'm sure, that let people know, most people know the story about Alice. And here is also fire conduit to a blow-off room. Fire, yeah, it's a conduit here too, and there's several of them around here. So you can look at this and study it. And I'm gonna reduce this again. Here we go. Now, you got this one? All right. Here is another picture of, this is an artist rendering, I'm sure. So they explain the inside of it is rotating very fast. You got the barrel here and you got the Tesla egg down there and all the 12 spheres. Okay, here we go. For those of you who want to read it. Point of looking glass observation. Let's say they start out here. They were coming from the left up to this point, and now they interject, well, at least up to 2012, they were interjecting things that they thought of into the stream, and they created a new timeline number 2. Of course, timeline number 1 goes on. But if they did this strong enough, they may be able to control the time and bring us with them. Okay, here we go, same drawings again. And yeah, we've seen that one, we've seen that. I'm going to get to some writing here below. And by the way, this come out of S4 also. As you can see, inside the ring, there's a wall. This ring doesn't go anywhere. There's a wall there. But they used this in the movie Stargate. I wonder where they got the idea from. Okay, face conjunction. All right, here we go. Now I'm going to scroll down the written text so you can read it and advance the video, stop it and read more. There's some interesting reading here, and I highly recommend that you take the time to do it because you will be more educated probably than I am. There's interesting stuff. And here, infinite difference time domain. Sounds interesting to me. Okay, we are getting down to the end here, and here's the last. So, now you got it all. And I'm stopping the sharing of the screen. I hope you like this as much as I did when I put it together. I've never seen these pictures before. I don't think anybody have seen any pictures or drawings or anything like that. They all talk about it, but it's hard to find anything. So, and I guess this is good enough for this time. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe because I'm gonna get more stuff like this for you in the upcoming videos. And click the bell so you will know when I'm putting them up there. So then, until then, be good to each other.